Pokemon trainers, welcome back to yet another episode of iStarlyTV. This is another segment of Battle Tower here. Welcome back, everyone. I know I haven't posted one in maybe a couple weeks, and this one is showcasing a brand new team that I've been using on Pokemon Showdown. And the team, I was going to do a team tech where I pretty much go in detail of this team and talk about each Pokemon, but it ended up taking kind of a long time and kind of being long-winded. I'm not really good at talking at length about things like this. I always feel like I end up rambling unnecessarily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because this team uses a very specific core of offensive Pokemon, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a link in the description that takes you to our iStarlyTV Weebly website, which is essentially a blog where I'm going to be posting a lot of competitive analysis for Pokemon and Pokemon news, stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to be posting in the description, and I plan to post an analysis of this offensive core that I'm using in this team on that site, so you can check that out. That'll hopefully be up as soon as this video is posted. But yeah, this battle showcases that team that I've been using. It has Choice Banded Talonflame, Choice Banded Staraptor. That's the core that I'm talking about. And basically, the two of them together hit really hard, and they're kind of able to help one another sweep by taking out the other's kind of counters and resistances and stuff like that. And then I have the rest of the team is essentially identical to what I've been using, which is Mamoswine, Rotom Wash, Excadrill, and Mega Lucario, but the Mega Lucario on this team is specially offensive rather than being physically offensive, so it has Nasty Plot, Vacuum Wave, Aura Sphere, and Flash Cannon. And that one, I just decided to use that because I don't really have too many special attackers on the team, and since I figured that Talonflame and Staraptor are both physical attackers, it'd be nice to have my third offensive Pokemon be a hard-hitting special attacker. So let's just get into the battle. Hopefully you'll enjoy. Alright, so let's pause it and just look at my opponent's team really quick. So looking at the team, you know, I figured I had somewhat of an upper hand right away because Staraptor's Choice Banded Adamant, Reckless Boosted Brave Bird could pretty much plow through a good majority of this team. Well, actually, maybe not. There are actually 3 things that resist it in the forms of Skarmory, Heatran, and Rotom Wash, all of which are very defensive Pokemon. You know, they have good stats, they can take hits very well, and I did calc it though, and Staraptor is actually able to punch holes in even in these Pokemon. They are 3-hit KO'd, if not 2-hit KO'd by Brave Bird. But everything else on my team I plan to use. Mega Lucario is actually going to be great against this team as well, just because really almost nothing on this team can switch effectively into an Aura Sphere, except, I mean, Pinsir resists it, but then I can just outspeed and kill with Flash Cannon. So I'm pretty well positioned at the beginning of the battle. I decided to lead with Mamoswine here, just because it'd be nice for me to get at my rocks, just to limit my opponent's switch-in potential. They take a little damage every time they switch in, and because they have Pinsir. They do have Skarmory, which could have Defog, but I decided to kind of play aggressively and try to get at my rocks as soon as possible, and then kind of scout for the defog later. I do have Rotom to deal with Skarmory, I do have Mega Lucario to deal with Skarmory, and even Talonflame's Flare Blitz, if I can get Heatran out of the way, can deal with that. So just decided to lead with Mamoswine, and then we'll see where we go from here. So my opponent actually decides to lead off with their Ferrothorn, and for me, I just thought I'd get up my rocks right away. There's no way that Ferrothorn can prevent Mamoswine from getting up rocks, so I thought it was kind of a safe bet to kind of essentially guarantee that I get my rocks up. My opponent makes a pretty solid play here though, goes for the Gyro Ball, which takes me all the way down to my sash, and I'm going to decide to preserve Mamoswine for later, just in case I can get at my rocks later in the game if they remove them with Defog or something like that. But my opponent does decide to get up the Spikes. I do threaten them out with Lucario, so what I'm going to do here is Mega Evolve and just go for the safe Aura Sphere. There's no use trying to set up this early in the game, and they might think that I'm the physical variant, which they do. They switch to Skarmory. Unfortunately, I do get a critical hit, and you know what? Let's find out if that mattered right now. We'll find out right now. Sorry if it's cut off on the screen, if you can't see the whole thing that I'm working with here, but let's assume that they're the standard Skarmory build, and we're gonna type in, let's see, Timid, Again, I'm sorry if you can't see what we're working with here. And we're going to need to add Aura Sphere. I'm using a damage calc. Alright, so Aura Sphere versus Skarmory is a guaranteed 2-hit KO, but there is 0 chance that it can 1-hit KO. So that means that critical hit mattered, although at the same time it kind of didn't, because then I could have just picked it off with a Vacuum Wave anyway, and if it would have switched out, it would have died when it came into Stealth Rock anyway, so it kind of didn't matter, but technically it did, I guess. They go into Rotom. I'm just going to go into Mamoswine as Death Fodder just to scout what the Rotom's going to do, and they do, and to kind of scout what set they are, I guess. They do go for Will-O-Wisp though, and they do not get the Leftovers Recovery, so that means that they are some form of defensive Rotom, either physical or special, but I decided Excadrill's still a good switch here. I won't take any damage from Spikes, and because I have Mold Breaker and I'm faster, I can outspeed and kill with an Earthquake, because we find out later on that it's actually Calm, specially defensive Rotom rather than physically defensive, so it won't take that Earthquake well. They switch into Ferrothorn here. Take a reasonable chunk. I mean, 35% from an Earthquake is, you know, pretty good for me. I mean, it's a 3-hit KO right there. But they do get the Leech Seed on me, and I'm not going to want to stay in just in case they want to protect, and that means I essentially waste a turn. I could have predicted it maybe there and gone for the Swords Dance, but I'm just going to go into Staraptor here just to scout what they're going to want to do. And they do set up Spikes, and I do know that Ferrothorn is 2-hit KO'd by Choice Banded Brave Bird from Staraptor, so I know that is going to finish it off. It was not a crit, but I do take a lot of damage. I take the recoil from Brave Bird and then the Iron Barbs damage, but that's kind of the purpose of Staraptor on this team, to just pretty much punch holes in the team so that later on Talonflame can sweep. And as you can see, Rotom's a pretty standard counter to Talonflame, and it takes 64% from a resisted Brave Bird. But I did calc that and find out that that is specially defensive Rotom damage. If it were physically defensive Rotom, it would have taken, I think, around 40 or some percent, so it would have taken it a lot better, but still not great. Anyways, I'm going to be able to get a free switch into Lucario after they kill my Staraptor with the Hydro Pump, and I'm going to be able to finish it off with Aura Sphere. I didn't want to like set up a nasty plot predicting anything. I am ahead right here. I am winning, so there's no reason to kind of play too erratically. Just play safe, and I can continue with my lead. And plus, nothing on my opponent's team can really switch effectively into an Aura Sphere. But they are going to switch into Conkeldurr here, which has Mach Punch, and they're going to make a good prediction there and go for the knockoff, predicting me to switch out. And that really pays off. Here I just decide to go for the Will-O-Wisp, thinking that even if they have Guts, I just want to get some residual damage on this so that Talonflame can come in and ensure that it's going to kill with the Brave Bird. So there's the chance that this is a Guts Conkeldurr, which it probably is since that Power Up Punch still does a decent amount, but they're going to start spamming Power Up Punch here to get some attack boosts. So what I'm going to do is just go for the Protect, just to get a little bit more burn damage on them. And at this point I'm hoping, I know they have Knockoff, I know they have Power Up Punch, they might have Mach Punch, Drain Punch, or Stone Edge, or any combination of those moves. I'm hoping they don't have Drain Punch, but as you'll see here, they actually do. I go for the Hydro Pump there just to get a little bit more damage, and they're going to kill me off with the Drain Punch. Luckily, they don't get too much recovery back, so that is going to allow Talonflame to more easily just come in and finish it off. And there was a very real chance here that they could go into Heatran, and I wanted to predict that and just go for the U-turn, but I figured if they stay in with Conkeldurr and I go for the U-turn, then either my Excadrill or Lucario will die. So I wanted to just make the safe play, go for the Brave Bird here. Again, I have nothing to lose by playing safe, and we are 3-3 right now, my opponent, so it could be anyone's game at this point, and I still want to play safe just because I feel like I still have a slight upper hand. So at this point, I'm just going to go into Excadrill just to pretty much sacrifice it, just to pretty much have it die, so I can scout this Heatran and get a free switch into my Lucario, who, like I said before, really threatens my opponent's team. My opponent essentially has nothing that can safely switch in, and now that Conkeldurr is at below half health, it'll take Stealth Rock damage, and then it'll probably die to an Aura Sphere. So my opponent's just going to play really well here, just stay in with their Heatran, knowing that there's nothing they can switch into, and I'm going to be able to kill that. And now they're going to go into their Conkeldurr, who, again, likely has Mach Punch, but I just go for the Vacuum Wave, and they do pick me off with an Ice Punch, or sorry, a Mach Punch. That Vacuum Wave didn't do much at all. they might be an Assault Vest Conkeldurr, which is pretty common, pretty powerful as well. And they're going to take burn damage there, but I'm free to just go into Talonflame. I'm at a good enough amount of health to where I know that I can obviously finish off this Conkeldurr, take basically 0 recoil damage. Well, 3%, but that's very close to 0. And they're going to switch in Pinsir, which is going to take 25% from the Stealth Rock, and then despite the fact that they're going to Mega Evolve, there's really nothing that my opponent can do at this point, and they're just going to die to a Choice Banded Adamant Brave Bird. So, pretty good game. I think that this was a good way to, like I said, showcase this team and showcase the core of Talonflame and Staraptor together and how they work in tandem with these other, support Pokemon. I'm still working on developing this team, so if you have any suggestions as to what I might be able to remove or switch out, the 2 Pokemon that I'm set on keeping are Talonflame and Staraptor. I mean, that's the very basis of the team, so I'm not looking to remove either of those, but maybe if you think having 2 ground types is redundant or something, you could suggest Pokemon that I could switch out for either Mamoswine or Excadrill or something like that. I like Rotom on the team too. I mean, Rotom's just an excellent Pokemon in the metagame right now. It can beat a good number of threats. It's so versatile. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this team, of this battle. As you can see, Staraptor was able to kill Ferrothorn. It was able to put a pretty severe dent in Rotom, which is again one of Talonflame's standard counters. So with that in mind, Talonflame was able to pick off the rest of the opponent's team without worry of Rotom switching in or even Heatran switching in. Heatran was killed by Lucario, so that makes Lucario a good partner for Talonflame and Staraptor as well. But yeah, I hope you got a feel for this core. I hope you'll plan on using it yourself. 2 Adamant Choice Banded Brave Bird Pokemon. I know that sounds really strange because, that's 2 very similar things on the same exact team, but they both, as you can see here, they both function pretty differently. I'd like to say that Talonflame functions more as the role of a sweeper on this team. It's used more for picking off late game threats, doing more damage to offensive Pokemon, whereas Staraptor is more of a wall breaker, where it's oriented more towards, blasting through walls and defensive mons. So anyways, enough talking for me. I hope you enjoyed this battle, and go ahead and leave a like if you liked it. Go ahead and check out our website. I posted 1 article yesterday, and I plan to post another today, which would feature this core. So go ahead and check it out. Let us know what you think, and bye.